Lynne Algrant.
Lynn, we're going to start with Lynne.
Okay.
And come on up and introduce yourself and have a word. And I don't know if you got a chance to see what we have been talking about, but certainly feel free to address any of the issues you wanted to address.
Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with everyone. My name is Lynne Algrant, and I'm running for council at large here in Englewood in the primary on June 2nd.
Excuse me. Just want to mention one thing. I want to try to kind of keep it down to about under 10 minutes because I want to give everybody a chance.
I can be very brief, I promise. I am a fairly new resident to Englewood. I moved here 3 years ago. My background is that I have worked in schools and run an educational nonprofit program for college-bound students in New York City. A few years ago, after running a nonprofit, I became very interested in leadership issues, civic leadership issues, and public-private partnerships. So I ran a civic leadership program in Cleveland for the Cleveland Foundation for a few years before moving to Englewood. I serve on the faculty of the Bergen Leads program here in Bergen County, which is a similar program to encourage adults to be actively involved in the community and to learn about the community. And I also do some other leadership programs and consulting with nonprofit organizations. I have grown to love Englewood a great deal. I have 2 little girls, and I find it an incredible community to raise my children. And I feel like in these difficult economic times, all of our communities are going to be struggling. And one of the things that concerns me the most is that often in times of stress, communities pull away from each other, and I'm really committed to trying to find common points of contact so that communities can pull together and to improve themselves. And one last thing I'll say, when I became executive director of the nonprofit organization that I ran in New York, I arrived in very dire financial situation there. And we were, within 6 months of my being there, about to go bankrupt. And it was a very intense, scary, all hands on deck period of time. But one of the things that I did learn was how to really look at what are the core issues of how we spend money, how we raise money, and how do we really tighten up those kinds of things so that our organizations can survive, so that our communities can survive. So I want to bring that kind of diligence about the finances to our community and to the City Council. I'm happy to say that my organization not only survived that dark period of time, but is still thriving, so knock on wood. So that was a very intense, very scary experience. It was also the most rewarding work experience I've ever had, because sometimes, pulling something together really teaches us what matters and what is central. And again, I think that kind of commitment and diligence can be something that can benefit public communities as well as organizations. So thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you very much.
You have questions? Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead. You have a question?
No, I was just saying it would be good if she took questions.
So, what are your plans? What are your immediate plans for running at the council at large? What are your priorities?
Yeah, my priorities are, certainly I think we need to look at, we're going to have to be fiscally prudent, and we're going to have to find ways to do more with the same amount or less in the coming weeks. So I want to make sure that we're being really vigilant about how we spend money in the town and that the money is being targeted in the places where we really need it to go. I am very interested in green energy and sustainability issues, and I'd like to look at some ways that some communities have been experimenting with helping homeowners to make their houses more energy efficient, which will save them money on their energy bills and may help to balance out how expensive it is just to run a home here. And lastly, I am, as a person who's worked with young people for much of my adult life, I know how important out-of-school time is to the success of in-school time. And so